Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here in this little safe space, then welcome. My name's Mandy, and it's lovely to have you here with us. If you are returning, if you've seen my previous videos, then welcome back. I'm grateful for your support. If you remember last week, if you watched the video, for those who are returning, we covered on the huge subject of living alone and whether you were lonely, whether you had kind of a support group around you and kind of things just to help you through. And I was going to carry on that conversation because I do think it's quite a big subject for a lot of people who are a similar age to me, who have been in long-term relationships, marriages, etc. And I kind of wanted to cover it over quite a few videos. But I thought today would have a little bit of a change, and I thought I'd give you, I don't want to say a life update because I haven't really discussed my life on here as yet. But I just kind of wanted to give you an update because I'm proud of my little self. So Friday, so that was the 25th of October. Friday was my last day at work. I haven't been made redundant or anything. I've not been a naughty girl, don't worry. It was my decision. I handed my notice in the previous week. And yes, my last official day was Friday. There has been an ongoing issue with work for quite a few months. And they basically left me no choice but to hand my notice in. I'm not going to say where it was that I worked because I don't think that's very fair to them. Anyone who's watching this that knows me personally will obviously know where it was that I used to work. But over the last few years, since COVID, I've been there 13 and a half years. So let's start with that. I've been there 13 and a half years. Started in May 2011. And for the large part, I've really, really enjoyed going to work. I've enjoyed my job. I've enjoyed the company of the people around me. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And then COVID came along and kind of changed all that. A lot of people at work changed within themselves. And it's not just people at work. I have noticed this in general since COVID. A lot of people have changed. A lot of people's temperaments have changed. People's patience has changed. Going into shops, you don't seem to get the same service. Yeah, I think the whole lot's gone downhill recently, since COVID. I'm just going to apologise. If you hear any noises in the background, it'll be my dog snoring his little head off. He's here on the sofa with me. We're all cozied up. He's under his blanket and he's bless him. So since going back to work after COVID, I went back originally in April 2021. Part-time, first of all, and then we had a slow transition into going back full-time. And I think it was full-time after June or July of that year. Over the years, certain things have happened, and I haven't raised them as a concern. I just let them go. Purely because it is one of the, I'm saying one of the businesses, I don't know what other businesses are like. But as a company, if you stood up for yourself or if you raised an issue with certain staff members, they made your life hell, basically. And it was easier just to stay quiet. And there were a couple of instances where, yes, I did make complaints and I did raise issues with HR, etc. Although nothing got done. But there you go. Anyway, going back, let's rewind and to the beginning of August. There was an incident with work. And I had to remove, I removed myself after the first initial week. I removed myself from the situation to protect myself, because I know exactly what they can be like as a company. And I'm glad I made that decision to do so. So I got my doctor to sign me off on the sick. Don't get me wrong, what I went through was quite stressful. My stepdad isn't a very well man, and hasn't been for a long time. And I really don't think he has long left at all. But then again, we've been saying that for the last 7 years. He got 18 months to live, and that was longer than that. Yeah, 7.5 years ago. And it's what I've just been through for the past 3 months, just short of 3 months, has had a bit of a detrimental effect on him as well. So I decided to walk away. And I've decided to talk about it because there may be people out there who are kind of going through the same thing with their workplace, that they don't agree with how they are being treated. There are things that they want to draw attention to or they want sorting out, but they don't feel that they can do. And that's kind of the position that I was in. Work really showed themselves for what they truly are. 13.5 years I've been there. I've been a very loyal staff member. I haven't asked for a lot in return. I was going to say it's in the entertainment industry, but it's not. I'm not a stripper or porn or anything like that. It's nothing derogatory. It's a hospitality business, basically. So a lot of staff members ask for freebies, they get perks, and it's one of those places, I suppose, like everywhere. If your face fits, you get told yes. If your face doesn't, you get no. And my face used to fit until I started standing up for myself, and then I started to see a massive change in people's behaviour back towards me, which was a massive red flag for me, because everyone's so quick to judge your reaction, but they never actually take a step back and look at their behaviour, which resulted in your reaction. So it was a big, massive red flag for me. And this last 3 months it's been a learning curve. And yeah, it showed the business up for exactly what it is. And now I know why they employ a lot of young people, because they're not, they they haven't got the life experience to necessarily stand up for themselves, and they probably just think it's easier just to go and find another job. But I had to walk away for my own peace of mind, and for my stepdad's health, because like I say, he's not very well, and he was spending too much time thinking about it, and it was worrying him, and it bothered him, because he actually said to me he feels so Dickensian on workplace knowledge these days. Now, bearing in mind, my dad's 77. He's not very old, he's 77. But like I say, not in very good health at all. And workplace law has changed a lot. It's changed a lot in the last couple of years. Never mind since I started work when I was 15. And probably by that point, sort of in the 80s, Pops, as I call him, my stepdad, had probably retired by then. So his workplace knowledge has, it's definitely out of date. So he was very frustrated that he couldn't help in the way that he wanted to. Thankfully, a very good friend of mine, if you're watching, Leanne, hello, thank you so much. Much appreciated for all the help that you gave me. So ACAS and my friend Leanne helped me a lot. My friend had been through something very, very similar with her workplace, and she luckily had a union rep who helped her. So she learned a lot during her process that she could then help me, which is a million thank yous wouldn't be enough. But I was prepared to fight it all the way. I really was. And then I found through ACAS that if I was going to fight it any further, the court systems, you were looking up to 2 years. And I really didn't want to put myself in that position of this hanging over my head for the next 2 years. I didn't want to give them any more real estate in my thoughts or my feelings. So I decided I needed to walk away. I have worked very hard on myself since my ex-husband leaving, and I've set very firm boundaries, and what I was going through with work encroached on those boundaries. And although part of me wanted to have a little bit of revenge, I suppose, let them know exactly what I thought of them, let them know that they can't treat people like that, as much as I wanted to, I realised it wasn't going to make me feel any better if I did that. For that to hang over me for 2 years, by the time it probably came to going to court, that fire in your belly was probably gone. You probably had a whole different outlook on it. If they'd have turned around and said to me, it'd have been 3-4 months to go to court, I'd have gone, yeah, go on, let's do it. But not for 2 years. And I didn't want to, I don't know how long my stepdad has left, and I certainly didn't want his last few months to be stressful like that. So I made the tough decision to walk away. And 13 and a half years is a long time these days to be in a job. But the last just short of 3 months where I've been working from home has been amazing. And just not, even though I have had the stress of dealing with this situation with work, just not being there and being in the toxicity, being in a permanently negative environment. Just in the office that I was in, there were three other members of staff in the office that I was in. And my God, I have never known 3 people complain as much as these 3 people did. It was absolutely, everything was an issue. Even to the point where we had, our line manager had an adjoining office, so there was a door between our 2 offices, and quite often she would come to the door and there'd be quite a few expletives, but she'd be like, she'd come through and just say, I've just had an email, don't know what it's got to do with me. Please insert any expletives where you like in this sentence, and I'm sure it wouldn't be far off what she'd say. Don't know when I became head of maintenance, or don't know when I started working in this department, don't know why it's my issue, blah, blah, blah. Why we would need to know that, I don't know. Just read the email. If it's not for you, delete it, move on. Do you know what I mean? There's no need to come in and just be constantly so negative. And I was trying so hard at work to keep up my own positivity and fight the toxicity and the negativity. And I became so exhausted, so exhausted. But since I've been at home, my health has become a lot better. My sleeping pattern has become a lot better. And like I say, this is despite the stress of what I was going through with them. My brain is no longer foggy. I can see things a lot clearly, and I could start to see exactly what it was that was going to happen. And I've been working towards a new beginning for quite some time. And I came to the conclusion that by leaving work, it was going to be the end of that old chapter. And this was a perfect opportunity to do it. So it took me a while to make the decision, but I did. I made the decision. Sorry, I went off screen there. I made the decision. I wrote my email. I handed my notice in. And a weight lifted. Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't a decision I made lightly. I'm still living in the home that me and my ex-husband bought together. So I'm still living in a big 3-bedroomed end of terrace house. It's huge just for me. It's absolutely massive. But obviously the bills, the mortgage, all still need paying. I still need to put food on the table. I still need to feed my dog. So it wasn't a decision I made lightly. I still needed income. But my own well-being became more important than working there. And even though I brought up a lot of issues, they didn't seem willing to put anything in place to sort them out. which was quite frustrating. So basically, they were expecting me to go back to work and just pick up where I left off, basically. And I was just, no, that isn't going to happen. So yes, I actually feel free. I feel like a weight has been lifted. So I am now concentrating on my little business, on Pickled Ginger Designs. Luckily, it's coming up to one of my busiest times of year. It's coming up to Christmas, so I'm slowly working through the Christmas orders that I've got already. So it's not like I haven't been kept busy. I've bought myself a Cricut machine, which is a machine where you can design things and cut them out on vinyl or wood or leather. There's hundreds of materials that you can cut your designs out of. So you can personalise makeup bags, water bottles, wine glasses, that kind of thing. So I have eventually gone down that line, and yeah. So I've been kept busy by, trying to create new designs. And I've also been taking time out to work on me as well, which has been nice. And because I've not been in a stress-fueled, toxic, negative environment, all my aches and pains have disappeared. I'm starting to slowly lose weight. Like I say, my sleeping pattern has become a lot better. So it just goes to show how much our working environment has a hold over us. And anybody out there, if any of you are going through a horrible, horrible situation with work, and I don't know how to put it. Your self-worth is absolutely at rock bottom because of how your company make you feel, and they feel that they have a monopoly over you because they pay your bills. They're not the only company out there that will pay your bills. If you are not happy, go and find another job somewhere else. Like I say, I've not got any savings whatsoever. I have done this because I followed my gut instinct, and that is what my gut instinct was telling me to do. This is the right moment to walk away and to start your new beginning. It doesn't bother me that I'm about to sign on the Dole or Universal Credit or whatever it is these days. Because one of my mantras at the moment is, I do not need to be perfect, and I do not need to lead a perfect life. Whereas that is all you see day to day. That is all social media is. Certainly Instagram. It is all that you see. These people who seem to wake up in the morning with perfect makeup on. They have to climb into their perfect clothes that they've probably done a shopping haul on and tried it all on for you. And, they have to get into these perfect clothes, and they have to look perfect to go and drop the children off at school, or to go and pick a loaf of bread up at their local co-op. Other shops are available. And then they go home, and I would be straight back in my PJs or in my lounging suit or some joggers and a sweatshirt, but they tend to stay in these clothes all day long, and then they might change to go and pick the child up after school. Their house is not a speck of dust in their house, and they're making out, they've got these they've got these storage containers in there, in their fridges. So their fridge is just all perfect and lovely. Life is not like that. And I'm sure people of my age know damn well that is not what life is about. That is not how your fridge is going to be kept. And in another 6 months' time, those plastic containers will end up in the bin, in the landfill, and there'll be another something else that comes along that they try pushing you into buying. That's not how life works. But if it works for you, you crack on. But having to put my shopping away and put them into tiny little plastic containers and stack them all up so the inside of my fridge looks just as amazing as the rest of my house, when the only person that's going to see is the inside of my fridge, is me. Granted, if you've got a partner and children, more likely they won't even see the inside of the fridge. But yeah, you really do not need a perfect life. And if you are so unhappy, there is only yourself that can change that. You cannot not expect somebody to come along and just say, I can see that you're so unhappy. Here, take this silver platter. This is to be your new life. I am offering it you on a silver platter. That doesn't happen. You have to work at it. You have to work out what it is you want. And if you want happiness, then you have to start by walking away from what drains that happiness out of you. You have to be prepared to sit down and face facts. And that's hard for a lot of people, to sit down with the things in their life that are making them so unhappy, with things that have happened to them in their past that have made them, the person they are today. You have to sit down with yourself and you have to work through that, and you have to work through it, and you have to decide what you want, and you have to grab life with both hands, because it's not, being unhappy is creating a lot of health issues for you. And if you have partners and children, you're passing that on. And children pick things up easily, and they will be seeing that is how they need to cope with things in life. And it's not. Please don't feel stuck. Don't think that you have to go through life being unhappy. Life is what you make it, not anybody else. And if other people are making you unhappy, I mean, I'm not saying, that you get annoyed with your partner. They forgot to put the bins out, or they forgot to pick up onions when they went and did the shopping for you. Things like that, they just happen. It's just life. But if you are stuck in a job that doesn't keep you happy, if you're stuck in a relationship that isn't keeping you happy, walk away. Seriously, walk away. If you can't sit down with your partner and work out at what is wrong with your relationship, then there's something seriously wrong. If you don't feel that you can go into work and you can sit down with HR or your boss or your manager, whoever, and sort out the issue, or if you do sit down with them, but they're not willing to meet you halfway, or even suggest, what you can do to solve this issue. If they are basically making it out that it's you that's got the issue, there's no problem with their company, it's you that's got the issue. If they are gaslighting you, leave, because it is not going to get any better. And that is the lesson I have learned over the last 3 months. And it's sad that 13 and a half years came down to one sentence on an email, which was, thank you for all your hard work over the years, and we wish you all the best. Because one, it wasn't heartfelt. It absolutely wasn't. And I know it's not heartfelt. They do not mean a word of it. And after 13 and a half years, if that is the only thing that they can say to me, not even a bunch of flowers, nothing. And I'm just, it does annoy me. It aggrieves me. It really, really does. But I now know I have to draw a line under it. I have to walk away. I have to let it go. Otherwise, I am never going to be able to move on to my new beginning. And I am looking forward to my new start so much. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the person that I am going to grow into, because I know that the next stage of my life will have more lessons to learn. And I know that I have got everything that I can out of my life up to this point. There's nothing else that I can learn. So it's a new beginning, and I'm very much looking forward to it. In fact, I can't wait. I just wish that I could just walk through a door and there it is. Nice confetti going off. Hey, welcome Mandy, you've made it. That's how it's going to go in my head. Whether that is how it actually works, I don't know. But you may have guessed, I do firmly believe in karma, and I do believe that things can work out in your favour, but you have to be in the right frame of mind, and you just have to keep going. You really do have to just keep going and keep working on yourself. There's only you that you can set your boundaries. There's only you that can create your own happiness. And you have to set that boundary that people will not use you and abuse you anymore. You won't allow people to speak to you that way, to treat you that way. You know, your feelings, emotions and thoughts are just as valid as anybody else's. And you should never, nobody should gaslight you, ever. You are just as worthy, if not more worthy than them. You know, and the word narcissist is so common these days. Going back a few years ago, you would never ever have heard that word. But there seems to be a lot of narcissists out there at the moment, and they make your life hell. They really, really do. But you have to stand up to them, and you have to be strong. Narcissists don't like strong people who will stand up for themselves, and that's what you have to do. And you have to call them out for their behaviour. And that was another reason why I walked away, because I just thought, if I carry this on and I prove my point, it's not gonna change anything for the company. They will still continue to treat people as badly as what they are. And they have staff that's been there over 30 years who feel they cannot walk away from this company because they have mortgages, they have families. And that if the council decided they wanted to put the running of that business out to another company, if they were going to put it out to tender and another company got it, these people are still there because they live in fear of losing out on 30 years of redundancy. And I think that is so sad. I really do. Because no matter where you go to work, they're going to pay you a wage. That is going to pay your bills. It's going to pay your mortgage. It's going to put your food on your table. It's going to be no different. but you're going to move on in life because you're learning new skills. You know, you're constantly improving yourself. That doesn't go unnoticed. And the more you continue to work on yourself, the more that you continue to learn, it will get you where you want to go. Hopefully, because that's what I've been doing. So yeah, so I think we'll leave that for now. I think we'll leave that there for now, is what I wanted to say. So yeah, so I'm quite proud of myself for making that decision. And yeah, the next few months are they're not a worry for me. I'm just going to follow my gut instinct and go. My gut instinct has never let me down as of yet. I'm just going to go with the flow and see where life leads me. And like I say, I've no savings, you know, so it's just reining the belt a little bit and yeah, and see where it takes us. So the next life update that I get, I will keep you updated. I promise I'll keep you updated of where we go. But for now, I'm just going to concentrate on my little business. I'm going to get my Christmas cards done. I'm going to get my birthday orders made. Look out for my beautiful, lovely customers. And yeah, I'll keep you updated on where life goes. So I'm going to say thank you for being here today. And if you've enjoyed today's content, then please give this video a like, give it a little thumbs up. And if you and if you've been enjoying my content as a whole, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. It just seems to keep YouTube's algorithm happy, and it just means that more beautiful people just like you get to see these videos, and you never know, it may just help somebody out there. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos. So if just one of these videos helps just one person, I've achieved. I have absolutely achieved. A little pat on the head to me. We like to achieve. So yes, so thank you for being here with me today. Like I say, if you're new here, I hope you'll come back and you'll just maybe to see what happens with me. Who knows? So yeah, so in the meantime, I'm going to say thank you, my lovelies. I want you all to take care and look after yourselves. Keep cozy now the nights are drawing in. Never ever dim your light for anyone or anything. Promise me that. Okay? Lots of love till next time. See you soon.